Welcome back to the Jazz Pursuit. In this video we're going to learn the tune Strasbourg St.Denis. Strasbourg St.Denis was written by the late trumpet player Roy Hargrove and first featured on his 2008 album Ear Food. For me, this tune's a perfect example of a modern standard, and it's a great introduction to improvising within a groove setting. Through this video I'm going to break down the harmony, bass line and melody in Strasbourg St.Denis, hopefully making it easier to learn and remember. Do like and subscribe, and check out the description below for a free lead sheet, the PDF handout and links to the Harmony Toolbox and Improvisation 101 courses. Right, let's get started. So, first off, let's take a look at the key bits of information. Strasbourg St.Denis is in 4/4 time, and in the key of A flat major. Within the tune there are several sections: the bass line intro, the Unison Melody, the call and response section, and of course the improvising. But all of these sections are based on the same 8-bar progression. So that's the key bits of information. Now let's dive in and take a look at the A section harmony. Strasbourg St.Denis is in A flat major, but the harmony doesn't start here. Instead, it begins on chord 2 of the key, B flat minor 7. Then the harmony walks up through the chords of the key to chord 3, C minor 7, and then chord 4, D flat major 7. Next, we have a 5/1 cadence that takes us back to chord 2, B flat minor 7. B flat minor 7 is the 1 chord and target point of the cadence. So the 5 chord is F7. And as the target point of the cadence is a minor chord, we should add a flat 9 to the 5 chord. So it's F7 flat 9. Next, the harmony repeats these 2 bars. So from chord 2, B flat minor 7, we walk up through the chords of the key to chord 3, C minor 7, and then chord 4, D flat major 7. Then again we have a 5/1 cadence that takes us back to B flat minor 7. F7 flat 9 is the 5 chord, B flat minor 7 is the 1 chord. Next, it looks like this 2-bar loop is going to be repeated for a 3rd time. So, from chord 2 B flat minor 7, we rise to chord 3 C minor 7, and then chord 4 D flat major 7. At this point we're expecting the 5/1 cadence back to B flat minor 7, but this time the harmony changes, and instead it continues rising to chord 5 of the key, E flat 7. Chord 5 E flat 7 then resolves home to chord 1 of the key, A flat major 7. In most tunes we're used to hearing chord 1 quite early in the form, as it confirms and emphasises the home key. However here, Roy Hargrove has made us wait until the penultimate bar of the form to hear it. This clever compositional trick turns the chord 1 resolution into a real event within the form, and it's a good target point for improvisers to aim for in their solos. Anyway, there's only 1 bar left of the form, and the harmony needs to get back to B flat minor 7, ready for the start of the repeat. So again, we use that familiar 5-1 cadence. F7 flat 9 is the 5 chord, and B flat minor 7 is the 1 chord. So that's the harmony, and now I'm going to play through it twice. The first time with a root 3 5 7 voicing, and the second time I'll put the root and 7th in my left hand and the 3rd and 5th in my right. So, now we've got the harmony, it's time to learn that iconic bass line. As we'd expect, this uses predominantly the root notes of the harmony, but there are some fun corners that we'll get into. It starts on the root of the B flat minor 7 chord, B flat, and then rises to the root of the C minor 7 chord, C, and then anticipates the root of the D flat major 7 chord, D flat. Then, to outline the F7 chord, it alternates the 5th and root, C and F. Now, just like the harmony, the next two bars are largely a repeat. We start on the root of the B flat minor 7 chord, then rise to the root of the C minor 7 chord, before anticipating the root of the D flat major 7 chord. However, this time we outline the F7 chord slightly differently. We start on the flat 7, E flat, and then rise chromatically to the root F, before falling to the 5th C and root F. The bass line in the second half of the progression begins the same way. We start on the root of the B flat minor 7 chord, then rise to the root of the C minor 7 chord, before preempting the root of the D flat major 7 chord. Then, as the harmony changes, so too does the bass line. Next, it rises chromatically from the root of the D flat major 7 chord to the root of the E flat 7 chord, E flat. Then we have a scale note enclosure around the root of the A flat major 7 chord, A flat. So we enclose this with a G and a B flat. And then fall to the 5th E flat and root A flat. The bass line ends by falling chromatically from the root of the A flat major 7 chord to the root of the F7 chord. So there's the bass line. Now let's hear how it fits together with the harmony. We know that Strasbourg St.Denis is in A flat major, but this wasn't really confirmed by the harmony until the penultimate bar of the form. In contrast, the melody is all about the home key, and to make it crystal clear, it uses almost only the notes of A flat major pentatonic. Remember, a major pentatonic is made up of 5 notes from the major scale: the root, 2nd, 3rd, 5th, and 6th. So in the key of A flat, it's A flat, B flat, C, E flat, and F. Phrase 1 begins with 2 turns, using only the notes from the major pentatonic. The target point of the first turn is the 6th F. So we start a note above on A flat, fall to the target F, fall to a note below the target E flat, before landing back on the target F. The target point of the second turn is the 2nd B flat. So again we start a note above the target on C, fall to the target B flat, fall to a note below the target A flat, and then rise back to the target B flat. Next, the phrase falls to the 5th of the key, E flat. And then we have a scale note approach from above to the root A flat. Phrase 2 develops phrase 1. It repeats the entire phrase before then adding a new ending. So we start with our 2 turns. The first one around the 6th F, and the second one around the 2nd B flat. Then we fall to the 5th of the key E flat, and have our scale note approach from above to the root A flat. And then we have a new ending. The melody rises to the 3rd C and then 5th E flat. Next, phrase 3 is a direct repeat of phrase 1. So we have the turn around the 6th F, then turn around the 2nd B flat, fall to the 5th E flat, before we have a scale note approach from above to the root A flat. At this point, we've heard a version of phrase 1 3 times. And next, Roy Hargrove gives us a palette cleanser. Phrase 4 is completely different to the first 3 phrases, and it breaks out of A flat major pentatonic to give us some more colourful notes. The phrase begins by walking up through the A flat major scale, from the root A flat to the 3rd C. Then it walks down through the A flat major scale to the 5th E flat, before falling to the 3rd C. Next, the phrase walks up through A flat mixolydian, from the 5th E flat to the root A flat. Before ending on the 6th F. I especially like the bluesy ending to phrase 4, and the G flat has a bit of a double function. Firstly, it's the flat 7 of the key, so a go-to bluesy note. But it's also the flat 9 of the F7 chord, so it helps to reinforce that 5-1 cadence that takes us back to B flat minor 7. Anyway, here's the full melody in time. Strasbourg St.Denis does have another section. It's a call and response between the trumpet and the saxophone, but I'm not going to go into it in this video as it's too tricky demonstrating between the hands. It is worth checking out though, and again it's based around that A-flat major pentatonic. So that's Roy Hargrove's Strasbourg St.Denis, and I hope you have some fun exploring this one. Remember, you can grab a free lead sheet and the PDF handout in the description below, where you'll also find links to the Harmony Toolbox and Improvisation 101 courses. Happy practicing!